And so for today's video, I thought it would be fun to talk about the differences between time management at the 6-figure level versus the 7-figure level. We're gonna get into the secrets that will take you from 6 figures to 7 figures when it comes to time management right now. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel and my home. Your girl is working from home, so I thought I'd do this video for you today. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time certified 7-figure life and business coach, as well as CEO, wife, and mom. I truly wear all the hats and do all the things, which is why I get asked a lot around time management. And so for today's video, I thought it would be fun to talk about the differences between time management at the 6-figure level versus the 7-figure level, because let me tell you, it is not the same. So if you are closing in on 6 figures, maybe you are running your company on the side while you are still working for your 9-to-5, and you're looking to hit that 6-figure level so that you can feel comfortable leaving and replacing your corporate income. Or maybe you've already made the leap and you've left and you are on 6 figures, but you realize, you know what, I need to be hitting multiple 6 figures and even 7 figures in order to take this business ultimately to where I want it to go. So if that's you, you're in luck, because I'm gonna get into the secrets that will take you from 6 figures to 7 figures when it comes to time management right now. All right, the biggest secret of all, I mean, everything that I say is gonna be wrapped into this. So if you're short on time and you're just waiting for this one nugget, here it is. When you are looking to shift from the 6-figure to the 7-figure level, from a time management standpoint, you will find that the key is not to manage your time as much as it is to manage your energy. Because a very weird dichotomy happens as you transition from the 6 to 7-figure level. You become more important and less important to your business at the same time. So here's what I mean. You become less important, so to speak, because if you are doing it right, you're not doing everything anymore. Like, hopefully you're not DIYing everything. And I say this because I don't know anybody at the 7-figure level who doesn't have a team of some kind who is supporting them. Because just to be honest, it is not possible to sell at that scale and to sell at the volume necessary in order to hit $1 million in your business just by yourself. I mean, think about it. You would be doing everything. You would be, yes, the chief executive officer, but you'd be the chief, order taker, the chief bottle washer, the chief everything. And a human being doesn't have enough time and energy to wear all of those hats. So at some point, it's almost a necessity that you're going to have to bring in other people. So in that respect, you become quote unquote less important because you're no longer the person that's doing every little thing. I know for me, initially, I was, creating the content at night in order to promote my coaching. I was then coming up with the coaching programs. I was then doing the coaching one-on-one. And then I was, drafting the social media, thinking about the marketing plans. I was doing my own taxes and my own bookkeeping. Like, it was just crazy. And so think about if you have even just more than one client or more than a handful of clients, you're not going to be able to be your own bookkeeper and the coach for all of these clients and the marketer and whatever. Now, imagine when you have thousands of clients that are coming through your programs, which again, that's the volume that you need in order to hit this type of level. It's just not possible for you to do everything. So in a way, that's a really good thing because you become less important because now you have other people who are really, really good at their specific lane. So for me, I have people who are really on it when it comes to customer service, who are on it when it comes to client success and client fulfillment. I have a whole department that I've built out that's just for that one lane. I have another lane that's just for marketing, people who eat, sleep, and breathe this. They love nitpicking with whatever, the Facebook ads or the YouTube algorithm, and they deal with all of that stuff, so I don't have to deal with it, right? I can just show up and do the content. So in that respect, I am quote unquote less important in my business. However, you'll become more important because you are the CEO and you are the chief orchestrator of all of these people who are managing all of these different processes. Because while those individuals might be really good at whatever lane you've hired them for and whatever it is that they do, they will never be as good as you when it comes to the vision that you are called to execute, because it's your company, right? Even if they are amazing, they might have an amazing vision for their own company one day, but a company can only have one CEO, or it should only have one CEO, and it should only have one vision. And so you are gonna be the person that they come to when those visionary decisions are needed. You are gonna be the person that is looking at all of the work that they're doing and making sure that it's all organized and that it's all moving in the direction of your vision. And that, if you can believe it, requires so much mental energy. It's so strange. You'll be doing less like manual labor, I guess less physical labor. You know, you're not typing out everything on the computer anymore. You're not actively, you know, editing the photos for your Instagram. So in that respect, you're not doing that kind of work, but just the decision making and the meetings and guiding people and helping people lead. You know, you will have leaders on your team that you're gonna have to develop leadership capabilities in, as well as still be the face of your business and be available for clients and all of that. From an emotional and from a mental standpoint, it takes more energy than it takes time. And so I see that this is the key disconnect that a lot of people are failing to make when they're trying to bridge that gap from 6 to 7 figures. They're still very much in a doer's mentality. How can I do this? Oh, this thing is broken over here. I guess I need to fix it. I need to do all of these things. And if you're finding that there's a lot of little fires coming up, or you feel like you're playing whack-a-mole, that's actually a sign that you need to do less and you need to hire more. What you need to do instead is, instead of being a doer, you need to be a designer, right? You need to be the visionary who is designing everything and designing how all of this stuff ultimately flows together. And that requires continuous creativity. It requires continuous renewal. And so that leads me to the second part of my new time management strategy, or that has really helped me at this level, is I now focus on R, and R, right? I focus on rest, I focus on relaxation, and I focus on rewards. So from a rest standpoint, I mean, you guys already know, I am definitely a go-getter. I really enjoy my work. I love being busy and being active. And so sometimes it's very difficult for me to rest. However, I have found that I am more productive. I am able to lead my team better, and we're able to create better results, generate more revenue, do all of the things when I do build in those periods of rest, because I'm not burned out. Because again, when all of the decisions and the responsibilities rest on your shoulders, even if you're not physically doing a lot of work, or it just seems like, oh, I was just on the computer all day and I was just on meetings, why am I so tired? You get decision fatigue. That's a real thing. That's why Steve Jobs was known to only just wear a black turtleneck and jeans, because it eliminated so much of the decision fatigue that comes at this level as you are the CEO. And so for me, I had to manage my energy, and I had to force myself to take rest more often, knowing that it would allow me to be more productive on the back end. And so with that rest, it's giving myself time for relaxation. In fact, I really think about being a CEO or a business owner at this level is almost like being, you know, a high level sports athlete, or like an Olympian, you know? Yes, Olympians work very, very hard and they train for many hours, and on, you know, game day, they're executing and doing all the things that they need to do in order to play their sport at a high level. But the majority of the time, in between time, they're actually relaxing, right? They're getting sports massages, they're working with their nutritionist to think about what they should be eating. They are resting their bodies so that it can operate in peak performance. And so as a CEO, your peak performance is in your mind, right? It might not be, you know, in your swing if, you know, you're a golfer or whatever, and your swing if you're a baseball player, whatever sport it is, but your mind is the thing that's always going. And so you need that rest and relaxation so that it can recuperate. Now, the last R that really works for me is rewards. And so I find that rewards are very important, at least for me, because it pulls me forward. I think if you're a very ambitious person, and I raise my hand because I've done this, it's very easy to get into this place where you're always placing demands on yourself, right? But I find that desire is a greater reward and a greater motivator than demands, right, will ever be. It's basically the stick or the carrot. And so a lot of leaders or would-be 7-figure business operators, but they're stuck at the 6-figure level, they're having all of this internal self-talk where they're berating themselves. Well, how come this hasn't been done? And I just need to shape up. I just need to get up earlier. I need to work later. I need to do more work. It's all this demand that they feel that they need to place on themselves. However, if they built in those periods for rest and relaxation, and they scheduled rewards for themselves after short bursts of work, they would find that they would actually get to the finish line much faster. So for me, if it's something that I'm working on, if it's shooting videos, right, for YouTube, or shooting videos for new content, working on a book, right, hint, hint, instead of demanding that, oh, this needs to be done by this time, or I need to write this many chapters, or I need to shoot this many videos, or what have you, I come up with a little reward scheme for myself. So I say, all right, based on the amount of rest and relaxation that I need to pepper in to these sprints of work, if I complete these sprints of work, what is my reward gonna be? And so my reward might be something as simple as my CEO lunches. If you followed my channel for any amount of time, you know that I love to do these once a week or once every few weeks, where I just take myself out for a very extravagant lunch. Yes, it's very extravagant. I order up the entire menu, so much so that the server is like, ma'am, is someone else coming to join you? And I'm like, no, it's just me, okay? So your girl loves food and I'm a big foodie. But it could be anything. I might treat myself to a little bit of shopping. I might treat myself on a staycation, book a hotel in my city. I might just treat myself to whatever, reading a book by my fireplace or having a nice glass of wine or whatever it is. So I find what is that reward that's really going to motivate me, and I kind of give myself that as a carrot. And I know it sounds kind of ridiculous, like, oh, a CEO at this level, that's what we're focused on. But again, I recognize that so much is riding on my shoulders. I now have employees and staff that are dependent on me. I have clients that are dependent on me. I have other organizations and partners that I'm working with that are dependent on me. And so when all of that stress and that responsibility is on your shoulders, some of the best things that you can do for yourself is manage your energy. And you do that with the 3 R's, right? So rest, relaxation, and rewards. All right, so now you know my secret to growing from 6 to 7 figures from a time management standpoint. If you're even just trying to grow to 6 figures to begin with, but especially if you're trying to grow to 7 figures, one of the easiest ways that you can incorporate more rest and relaxation in your rhythm of working is making sure that you are working with a team. And if you don't yet have a team, I invite you to leverage my team and my CLS certification and marketing program. So CLS doesn't just stand for my initials, it actually stands for Coach of Life Success, which is the accredited designation that you will walk away with. Yes, my coaching certification is accredited. And so we teach you not only how to coach, how to take whatever your genius is and package it up in your own unique methodology, but we then show you how to launch your website, how to launch your business, and you even get to leverage my team. Yes, we have a full staff of coaches and accountability coaches that are on staff, but we even have tech support for you. So if you're just not a tech person and you're like, oh my goodness, I would do all this stuff, but I'm not a graphic designer, I'm not a tech person, I don't know how to do it, you can leverage my team as well. So if you've ever had an inkling or an interest in building a coaching business, this truly is like a coaching business in a box. So if this is something that you're interested in and you want to have more rest and relaxation in your business building or your business growth journey, I invite you to click the link below in order to learn more about it. You can watch a free short video on it, and if so inclined, apply. And from there, my enrollment team will reach out in order to schedule a call with you where they can walk you through the entire process. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next YouTube video, make sure you're subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next YouTube video or my next podcast episode, make sure that you are definitely following me, or rather in my network. Send me a LinkedIn request, or you can go ahead and send me a DM on Instagram. I'm active on both platforms. And so with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.